Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Parker,
I'm Chef Booth.
And I'm Dr. Blake.
and welcome to
Fellowship of Smash. Wow, guys.
We're going to have a wonderful time here talking about nerdy, silly things and just whatever comes across our minds. So we're going over the 5 games, video games that is, that most affected our childhood. And by childhood, we're going to be pretty lenient there. We're thinking like up to maybe 16 years old or something like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the idea is not just that they were released during our childhood, but that we played them for the first time during our childhood.
Yeah, and that it definitely helped shape how we play games nowadays or our opinions of them in general.
Maybe it broadened our views to different genre, or we just liked them a whole bunch, whatever. So I'll go ahead and start our list off with the most obvious thing, in case you can't tell by our name. I am going to pick one of the most important games of my life, really. The original Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. Of course, I've played all of them, put a lot of hours into Ultimate. It's catching up to how many hours I put into Smash 4. Dr. Blake and I would play a whole bunch when we lived together, played a lot of Smash 4.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a good time there. But when the original 64 came out, I don't know if you guys know this or not, I was really young. My sister and I were playing it a whole bunch, and she wasn't very good at the game. She would always just want to, chill out in the stages. And she had that, thought process that a lot of people have. My sister mained Kirby, and, there was this idea that the higher up you were when you started doing your down special, the rock thing, the more damage it did, which is not the case at all, but that's the way we thought about it.
Get that terminal velocity.
Yeah,
man. Science and video games, they make sense.
But that was basically the game that gave me the idea that video games are something to be enjoyed with friends. You know what I mean? Not just some sort of thing that I sat down, played, and went outside to do afterwards. And I think I checked the other day as to how many hours we had put into Smash Ultimate. All 3 of us play it a whole bunch. And I think we were up to 700 hours or something like that.
Wow.
Only? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm slacking.
I just did 1,000 games on my Switch, which isn't even, a fraction of what I played, because I mostly play on your place.
Can you imagine just how bad we are still?
Yeah. No improvement.
So maybe some of you guys really like Smash. I loved it a whole bunch, just for fun about it. Who'd you guys, I'm assuming you both played the original 64?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who'd you guys originally play?
So I was big onto the whole Pokemon thing, seeing how I was 4 or 5 at the time, so... Well, not at the time of Smash when released, but when I started to play it. So I mainly did Pikachu. And by mainly did Pikachu, I mean Down B Thundle.
Pikachu, I guess, is supposed to be the best character in that game.
Well, what about you, Doctor?
Well, I'm going to say a game that I spent probably most of my teen years on. I probably played this the most when I was a teenager. It was probably World of Warcraft.
Boy.
Yeah, you guys laugh.
It's eating Cheetos off of your stomach and stuff.
Hey, no. It started as a family game. My entire family played it together in the basement. Okay.
Jokes aside, we know that it's a good game. It's a great game.
It was great.
Fun fact, never played.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
Well,
Not a big PC gamer.
It was a pretty big part of my childhood. I remember one Christmas, my dad got me a copy early for Christmas so I could play the expansion early.
Which expansion?
That would be Wrath of the Lich King. The best one.
Wasn't that the first one, though? I don't know
the
too
best
much.
One. No, the first one was Burning Crusade.
Oh, okay.
That was the first expansion.
I remember seeing a lot of the art for that expansion, though.
Yeah, I remember, even after my family kind of stopped playing it, staying up really late, school nights, raiding. My mom was not happy with that.
Yeah.
Don't stay up too late playing video games.
Or do. Just don't blame us.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Kind of going a different direction from what we have been doing. I really, really like the Legend of Zelda series. I'm a big fan of the 3D Zeldas in particular, and
dangerous to go alone. Here, take this.
The chef over here just offered me his wallet, so I'll go ahead and give me. But the one that meant the most to my childhood was easily the Wind Waker.
Yes. Good
Played-
old GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube was my heyday of video gaming because the N64 I played video games in between like going outside, but once the GameCube hit, that was just what I did. And I put so many hours into the Wind Waker. I beat that game many times. It's so cute, and there's a sense of adventure that comes around it. Exploring the entire sea.
I had the hardest time in that prison, man, trying to get out of it.
My phone just went off.
All right. Well, I've never played the Wind Waker. Honestly, I don't think I owned a GameCube.
Yeah.
I didn't play nearly as many games as you guys did when I was a kid.
Well, that's because I'm a
Mostly PC
shut-in.
games.
Wind Waker was originally criticized so much for its art style because it was different than
What I
the
thought
previous games.
that art style actually brought me into the series.
But there it goes again. It's going to be a great first podcast. Yeah, you brought you into the series?
Yeah, I mean, just because around the time that the GameCube was out, I was 7, 8, something like that. And so, being that age, the cartoon style is what really brought me into the era.
Yeah. And I mean, that opened my entire horizons to, first of all, the rest of the Zelda series, but any other sort of explorational thing going on with, adventure games. And then my phone's ringtone for text just went off, and now you can see that it is a Sonic ring. Just a little
Well, we're professional here, if you can't tell.
foreshadowing is what I'm doing. It's a professional foreshadowing. Anyway, Chef, you gotta talk about your second game?
Yeah, so mine is actually another GameCube pick. I mainly played Nintendo when I was younger, unless I went over to a friend's house. I was a big fan of Smash Bros. Melee. That's when I really got into fighting games is around that time, Mortal Kombat and whatnot, but Smash was a game where I went to back for hours and hours on end.
Yeah, I feel that.
Even did a tournament, not a official one. It was a tournament that my school hosted.
Uh-huh. Well, that was the thing about Melee. I remember when it came out, it went outside of your home at that point, right? You wanted to be the best person in your neighborhood or in your school, and there was bragging rights. I'm so good at this game. Who did you main in Melee?
So Melee, I was definitely a big fan of Ganon. Gotta love that Warlock punch. Just so powerful, because when you're a kid, power is everything.
Of course.
Who needs speed? As I'm mainly am trying to learn speed characters now, because power is slow.
Did you play Melee a lot, Doctor?
No, not really. Like I said, I never owned a GameCube. I might have played it at your place sometimes. I've seen a lot of gameplay footage of it. My man's Falco.
A little backstory. We actually have known each other for quite some time.
Yeah, we did play a whole lot of Smash, though. I guess to sort of round it off, does anybody have any of the other Smash games on there? If not, we just talk about the Smash franchise as a whole.
I was gonna talk about Brawl.
All right, well, let's just transition to that then.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well.
Oh, I forgot to mention my main, Young Link, Melee. Go ahead.
All right. Well.
Of course.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about a little bit about Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I didn't play a whole lot when I was younger. I was really introduced to playing Smash Bros. A lot when I was hanging out with you, Mr. Parker. I think I mained maybe Lucario sometimes, Falco.
I remember you did the chain grab, man. Chain grabs.
The Falco chain grabs, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because, Ice
that
Climbers
was super
totally
cheap.
wasn't the best.
Well, we did play that a whole bunch, and we started doing a thing where we would have pairs of characters, and we play 2v2 and stuff like that. We went to a tournament, a big tournament, and we lost pretty bad.
Oh, man.
I remember I made it through the first round, but then I went to the second round, and I was like, "You want to both go random?" And we both went random. The entire crowd was cheering against me because I was Pikachu for some reason. They were just so upset.
Wow.
Who'd you face?
The other guy was Samus.
Oh,
I didn't do so well. It was pretty bad.
Not a good matchup there.
And I didn't actually play Pikachu that much either. So when Brawl came out, we played it all the time, and it actually went further than that. We actually ended up modding Brawl.
Oh.
Like, took so long and went online and did all these things. We modded the Brawl stuff, and it was so much fun. We put Cloud and Sephiroth and Blastoise.
Oh
And,
boy, Piccolo.
we have the
Vegeta.
arms and Goku
man,
and all
those
that
arms.
stuff. Thor and Spider-Man. That was really fun.
Yeah.
I remember when we put Shadow.
DC's battle.
Oh, goodness. So I remember when we put Shadow into the game.
Wait, Shadow was in the
Oh,
game
man.
already.
The side special would kill the bosses immediately. And it was funny, so I went and did the boss rush and just did the side special, and I beat it in like 10 seconds or whatever.
I think you replaced Wario.
Yeah, and he would go like, wah, wah, wah.
And he made the noise. It was like so over and over again, spamming it. It's crazy. I remember playing that game so many times it costed a cope.
Yeah, so we've all played a whole lot of Smash Bros. In Smash 4, my main was mostly Cloud. A whole lot of that. Who's your guys' main? You want to talk about it?
No, my main was Corrin, which I play with your Cloud a whole lot.
Yeah, we had a lot of combos.
Doubles.
I mean, if we're talking about Smash 4, I think I definitely played a lot of Shulk.
So we put so many hours in all the Smash games. Nowadays, I probably am best as Toon Link in Smash Ultimate.
Let's see. I'm trying to pick up Snake now just because I've been watching a lot of another player play him, and I'm just like, I do heavy characters if you haven't been able to tell for the most part. So my main is Incineroar!
Oh, goodness.
I'm probably best at Lucina, but I really want to try and get better at my others, especially Corrin.
We
She's so
play a
good.
lot of
Others.
She's so good in Smash 4.
Others. This is coming from the guy who plays random all the time and usually can beat most of us, especially me.
I mean, I wish Corrin was better in this game
Mm-hmm.
because she's just so much fun to play.
Yeah, so Dr. Blake and I, we played Cloud and Corrin so much, and they were both so nerfed in Smash 4.
That's because they were
Oh,
so overpowered.
Oof.
And for the record, Chef Bruce is only speaking for himself. I can give Dr. Blake a pretty good run for his money in Smash.
Yeah, he beats me 90% of the time.
And now he's lying.
I don't know, man. Your Omar game against his Lucina is not that good.
We go random a whole bunch when we're playing with friends, and so sometimes it gets some odd matchups. Anyways, let's get off the Smash Bros. Thing and go back to the list, which means it's my turn now since
Yep.
you just melee and talked about Brawl. I guess since the ringtone happened, I should mention that I played a lot of Sonic games back when the whole Mario
Gotta go
versus-
fast.
back when the whole Mario versus Sonic rivalry was happening. I was very, very hard on the Sonic side. Like, I mean, I still played Super Mario 64 and all these other different games, but I love Sonic. And Sonic Adventure was where that status as a Sonic fan cemented. I mean, I played so many different Sonic games, like the originals, and then Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I played Sonic R a whole bunch, believe it or not.
Oh, why?
But Sonic Adventure was where it was just so awesome. And I know that...
Now let's clarify. 1 or 2?
Yes, but I'm mentioning Sonic Adventure 1 first because like that's what led to Sonic Adventure 2, and I'll admit I was a little let down by Sonic Heroes, but that was where platforming and all this stuff, like I put so many hours into that, and I loved the final little section. For the record, Knuckles is my favorite Sonic character, but I feel really sad for what's happened to his character recently because they've made him kind of an idiot. But
Well, he doesn't chuckle.
oh,
He
Wow.
he'd rather flex his knuckles or
Yeah.
flex his knuckles, flex his muscles.
You can flex your knuckles? I'm
I
impressed.
mean, Knuckles probably can. They're like little triangles.
Pokey things.
Wow.
Does that mean that Knuckles, when he takes his gloves off, assuming those are gloves, that he just has little spikes in his hands?
I mean, I think echidnas don't because he's the only one that does. So I feel like that's like a special thing.
No, all the echidnas in Sonic Adventure do.
Oh,
Right when
okay.
you see the whole
Village
Yeah.
or town, whatever.
ding ding. Sorry. So what do you got?
So my next one is actually going to be Halo. And mainly
that's a good choice. I didn't think
Halo 3, because that's when I started playing online competitive. And that really, I just remember hours of Halo Online playing until like 4 or 5 in the morning and then having to go to school.
of that. Yep.
One of our favorite modes to play together, I think, was definitely the Mongoose, where we'd each get a Mongoose and have somebody on our back with the rocket launcher. Then
Rocket racing?
Yeah, no, we'd end up kind of like a joust.
And I played Halo 3 a whole bunch. I actually would have buddies over, and we would play duos, right? SWAT or whatever. And we would have, like, I had a couple buddies over, and so there'd be 3 of us, and the third person would just be on the mic on Xbox Live talking stuff to the opponent. Oh, you suck! And I can't believe you missed me and all that stuff, while the other 2 of us were just laughing and playing. And of course, most of us had way too many energy drinks in our stomach and all that stuff. And just
Back when you guys drank that stuff.
yeah, and staying up way too late.
I mean, you guys don't still?
Occasionally.
I think that Reach is probably my favorite Halo. game, though.
By far, it is the best Halo.
Yeah. I didn't play a whole lot of Halo by myself. I remember playing original Halo on the PC, but I only play like Halo 3 and Reach at your place, and we'd play those maps we made for racing.
Racing, where they're like a big
so-
ball of death at the end of the track.
Oh, those stupid
No,
There's
that's
always
so
a ramp,
good.
and then somebody would miss, and they wouldn't hit the ball, and they'd have to start all
Oh,
over.
man.
But another reason why it's definitely big on me is because it's one of the only games where I've actually played with my own father, being young. So it was like one of those special memories. If you guys ever kind of don't connect, because my parents are a little bit older in years, it was something very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Dr. Blake?
I'd say my next game's probably gonna have to be Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I had that game just on the Game Boy at home, and I would play that all the time. It was such a fun platformer. I'd definitely say I'm on the Mario side of that Sonic thing. you're
Well,
talking
time
about.
is on your side. It seems nowadays.
Indeed. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3. I also remember I would go out of state and visit my family there. I got a cousin and an uncle, and we'd visit him, and I'd play Super Mario Bros. 3 with him in the basement all night, and it'd be so much fun, just taking turns playing.
Your batteries lasted that long?
Actually, he had the NES where you played on that instead of my Game Boy.
So Dr. Blake here is so much better at side-scrolling Mario games than I am, because I played like the original Super Mario Brothers a bunch, and actually 2 a whole bunch, but I didn't really play any after that. Which isn't to say that they aren't great games, but I see these people speed running all these things, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna make sure that I definitely hit this Goomba.
Yep. Yeah, I played those quite a bit more than you did.
Yeah. Well, we got 4th out of our 5 games. Before we get to our 5th one, we'll have like a little honorable mentions thing just for fun. But I'm going to throw out there Pokemon Silver. I played Red and Blue, of course, and it was a huge sort of phenomenon in my school. Everybody's talking about the games and trading cards. But when Gold and Silver came out, I put so many hours into that. I'm a little kid, but I'm so proud of my level 97 Typhlosion and all that stuff. And
At least he
Catching
knows how to pick a good starter, boys and girls.
and I think that the Pokemon games have gotten better since then, but I think that the pinnacle of the series is actually the Gold and Silver remakes. I think that they have not topped those games yet. I had the game for all these road trips that I'd be on, all that stuff, and then I progressed from Pokemon to any other sort of RPG game. I don't think that I would have played Final Fantasy 7 or 10 if it weren't for Pokemon, or Kingdom Hearts for that matter, even though that doesn't have a lot in common with Pokemon. But the idea of having a team and leveling up, I grew addicted to that format since playing Gold and Silver.
Yeah, honestly, I could never get into Pokemon. I tried. You
Ugh.
lent me some games. I just couldn't get into it.
Blasphemy, folks. Blasphemy.
Well, he was pretty, he wasn't a kid when he first played it. And frankly, the Pokemon games are simple.
I mean, yeah, the kind of meant for Y7. Or I guess, isn't the rating now like E for everyone?
Yeah, something like that. But
Shows you how old we are. We remember when games used to be rated back for Y7.
I remember, so I even like when the games were going on, as the games came out later, I started doing EV training and IV training. And I played one of our friends with my fully trained team and his just regularly trained team. And I sweeped them all with like my Umbreon that had maxed out stats for defense and had Curse and Moonlight and all that
That's
stuff.
surprising.
Just
I
payback.
expect you to just do Jolteons.
And Jolteon's my favorite Pokemon. And when we did doubles, I had a Jolteon and a Manectric duo team where they both did Discharge and wiped everybody out. But
I thought we were talking about childhood. This was like 2 years ago.
but Gold and Silver, talking about childhood, was where that love came from.
Oh, yeah, definitely the Johto region, even though I technically never played Gold or Silver.
Oh man!
But listen, that's because when I got the Game Boy Advance, I got Pokemon Crystal with it.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
So, same series, just not the
That
original.
feeling of fighting your character from the original games again.
Oh,
that
yeah.
final boss battle between you and Red. So, Chef Bruce, just question for you: were you among those that had 2 copies of the games and 2 Game Boys and traded to yourself a whole bunch?
So, I did not. I had an older brother.
Me neither. Totally, definitely didn't.
That being said, we always had the opposite games. Like Diamond Pearl, Sapphire, Ruby, all that other stuff. Of course, he stopped playing, so I didn't really get to have that with Black and White and whatnot, but yeah.
So what's your number 4?
So yeah, definitely I'm going to have to say my number 4 is Assassin's Creed 2. Main reason being is because that really helped me get into the story of games. Because if you've ever played that, it has phenomenal story.
Well, I've never played any Assassin's Creed games, but
Yeah, I never played it myself.
it's just the only thing I know about them is that there's too many of them.
I mean, why yes, especially in the later of the series. Especially up until Revelations, there was 2 years between each game. Another reason is, come on, how could you not love a main character's name as Ezio Auditore del Fuente?
I'm not even sure if I could say that.
Yeah, I probably couldn't. So my 4th one, I think, is going to be, I believe, with the expansion to this game, I think it still holds the record for the longest video game name ever.
I know what this is.
And that's going to be The Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth 2, The Rise of the Witch King.
See, I would have said One Piece.
No, it's like the longest name, literally, like the amount of words that are included in the name.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's some Japanese titles that could give it a run for its money.
I don't know, man. I know it was
I'm pretty
for a
sure
while.
that has the record there.
Yeah, but I played this game with Mr. Parker here quite a lot when we were younger at his father's house. And
They're old now.
man, whew, that was fun. So many good times. So many
Custom heroes.
things that came from that. We just played it well into the night and into the morning.
So we would like try to make it so that it was the hardest possible setting. Like we just barely win. So we'd be playing for hours on one single match against as many bots as possible or whatever it was we were doing. And we'd like rub our hands together over and over again during the night, and then we'd give each other a high five at the end of it, and it would hurt so bad because not right now, because we had been doing that for hours. Like our hands were so raw. Fine.
It was fun. For those of you who don't know, Battle for Middle-earth is a real-time strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best real-time strategy games out there.
I would argue the best, but I'm biased.
Uh-oh, now we got the Stargate people, StarCraft, whatever
There
it
you go,
is.
StarCraft.
StarCraft, yep.
Yeah, actually had Battle of Middle Earth on my list, but I'll switch it out for something else. But between that and Warcraft 3, those were my RTS games. I like Battle of Middle Earth more, just for the record, but there's just something about playing as Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli and beating up a bunch of orcs.
Not King Dane.
No! I, King Dane, will lead you.
Oh man.
Precious, my precious.
I'm sorry for that, everyone.
I'm not. I have no shame or self-respect.
I suppose you've never played the Battle of Middle Earth, have you?
Once. How old was I? I had to be around 7. I went over to a buddy's house, and he was really big into those games, so we played with him like 1 or 2 times. But I mean, they're not really my thing.
No, that's fair. We had a lot of fun, though. We do a lot of different things. You know, we'd play on a particular map. For those of you who might know the game, it was called Adorn River. And we'd, like, have one of us hole up and create a wall while everybody else ran into the base space and just tried to defend the wall the entire game and slowly branched out. Ah, so much fun. I want to play that again.
And they shall.
Well, before we get to our number 5 picks, why don't we just throw out a few honorable mentions? You know, you don't even have to have them written down or whatever. Just games that you feel like are worth noting.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw out Unreal Tournament 2004. We played that at LAN parties and at my place so much with a bunch of friends. Instagib. And what was that game mode where we had the ball and we shot each other? It was Bombing Run.
No, was it Bombing Run?
Yeah, it was. We played on that.
Yeah.
That map. Oh man.
So many Unreal Tournament memories. So much fun. And the campaign for 2004, I think, was fantastic. You know, where like you had to like recruit your own team, and they had different stats, and you went up against what was his name, Malcolm, at the end.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I've definitely got a couple. One, just because it was so much fun, and I know we played hours upon hours, was Borderlands 2. Just so many guns.
Yeah. Borderlands 2 was so much fun. A great story, too.
Yeah.
Probably the best of the Borderlands franchise.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Hands down.
Mm-hmm. Well, since I mentioned them earlier, I got to throw out Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, is the best of the series. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, so many hours put into Kingdom Hearts 2.
Come on, man. You know 3's got the best ending.
Oh, my. He was being sarcastic, everyone. Okay. No, we're here to praise video games. Kingdom Hearts 2, fantastic. I've played every single game in the Kingdom Hearts series with the exception of that one, like...
Oh, the weird DS one?
No. I played all the DS games. It was like on the computer or something like that. It involved the people with the masks. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I never heard about that one.
Yeah, it was like a social game. Like a mobile thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really, really love the Kingdom Hearts series. On a similar note, the Final Fantasy series, big fan. Obviously, got a lot of love for 7. I think the one that probably was my introduction to the series was Final Fantasy X. And goodness, what a good game.
Wow, so you joined in pretty late.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. I mentioned how I only got into Final Fantasy because I played Kingdom Hearts. And I only played Kingdom Hearts because I just saw it. I thought, why not? But it was similar to, like a combination of Zelda and Pokemon together.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I kind of guess I was lucky enough to play 7 when it first came out because of my brother having a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Quotation marks on play because of how young I was. But yeah. I think another honorable mention for me is the Mortal Kombat series.
Yeah?
Just because I do really like fighting games. Although, a game, and I think it might have been the first one that we all played together, was Counter-Strike.
Haha.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would be on my list of honorable mentions because that Counter-Strike is the only reason I played Halo.
Fair enough. I mean,
not the only reason, but...
Again, as I've kind of alluded to, I kind of do enjoy the more competitive side of shooters, so I was big in high school in CSGO. I I can remember for weeks straight, every night just playing until like 5 in the morning, getting an hour of sleep, and then having to do schoolwork.
So I played Source a whole bunch. Well, I played 1.6 with friends, but like online, played Source a whole bunch. I remember I played a lot of Break Floor. I don't know if you've ever played that or not, where there was a wall and everybody had a floor underneath them that was.
I think I played it with you guys.
And have like hole underneath and try to sneak up on people.
I remember the Zombie Hunter or whatever, where one player would get launched across the map and everyone would be in a room and you'd have to try and kill them.
That was Skeet.
Oh, Skeet.
Elite
Skeet.
Oh man, that was fun.
Aim your guns.
Launched, and people would snipe them with.
And you try to like sneak into the building where they were sniping with knives and try to come in from the right door because.
That was crazy.
Ah.
You had like 4 shots with the sniper and like. Oh man.
When you were out, you were just out unless
You were out.
Yeah.
What a good game. I already mentioned the Wind Waker, but there are plenty of other fantastic Zelda games that were so much fun.
Yeah, like Spirit Trade.
You mean Spirit Tracks?
Whatever. The DS game that no one really likes.
Oh, people like Spirit Tracks. I don't know, man. Wind Waker is clearly the top of it for me, but a lot of people like Ocarina of Time. A lot of people are going into Majora's Mask as their favorite, but Wind Waker was always good for me.
Fair enough.
As far as other honorable mentions, I'm going to mention this. It doesn't really count because I got into it way too late. But one of my favorite video games, one of my favorite video game series is Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem Awakening was just so fantastic for me. Like I loved every single aspect of the game and the difficulty, especially you could rank it up there, and the party gathering and the story. Ooh, the story and the cutscenes. I remember just being so impressed by the cutscenes on the 3DS.
It's a very good game.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few turn-based RPGs I ever played.
Turn-based RPGs is definitely my favorite genre nowadays.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like that's also more or less because as we get older, we have less time to game. So we try and get the most out of all time that we do spend.
It's easier to pick up and put down, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Any other honorable mentions that you guys have? Because there's a lot of games out there.
I mean, I feel like we'd be here for hours upon hours.
Well, let's just add a couple more. Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh, yes. Yes, I can. I have fond memories of going over to a buddy's house, and he didn't own the game, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would bring the game over, and him, his entire family, and I would just play for hours.
Man. Yeah, I had a buddy that we would play Double Dash all the time with, and it would always be, he would drive and I'd be in the back, and I just had so much fun, like, cutting his turns better so that we wouldn't die by, like, smacking to the left, to the right, and, like, stealing people's items and smacking the other people about it. It's kind of sad thing about the Mario Kart franchise is that they have gimmicks, but then they let it go for the next game. I would pay so much money for a Double Dash remastered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I could see him doing that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, like, 8's starting to get stale, and I could see them releasing a new one with whatever console they're planning on coming out with whenever. The Switch still being fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have one to add along the same Mario line. I would say Mario Strikers for the Wii was a fantastic game.
Oh, man.
I heard good things
Mario
about
Strikers
that,
Charged, I think. It probably
Yeah,
had, like,
something
a-
like that.
but
Yeah.
I have never played that, actually.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Imagine soccer with items and tackling.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if we're on the Mario train, I definitely would have to say Super Mario Galaxy 2. I just had so much fun with that.
I can't believe neither of us, or none of us, have brought up 64. I guess I mentioned it in passing, but
I never played it.
never played 64. Wow.
Even on an emulator, dude?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Never.
You got to. It's really fun. Just don't, for your first playthrough, don't, like, do a bunch of the speedrunning breakthrough stuff.
Just have fun with the game.
I think
Yeah.
another one I'd have to mention is Bloodborne.
You weren't a kid when that came out, were you?
Guess I technically wasn't a kid, but it's still a good game.
Sure.
I gotta mention
go ahead.
Neverwinter Nights
Oh.
and Neverwinter Nights 2. I played so much of that game when I was younger. I played that with my sister's son, and just one of the few games I actually played by myself. I really big into team games. I don't play a whole lot of single player games. That and Diablo 2.
Mm.
And now Diablo 3. I play a lot by myself.
I feel like I should probably mention a few other Lord of the Rings games. Both the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers and the Return of the King movie tie-in games were so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Pulling off those killing moves and stuff like that. I remember farming so much experience to get my characters to level 99 in that one. It was like the thing before Pelennor Fields or whatever.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Other Lord of the Rings games I liked include Third Age.
War in the North.
More than that was kind of later, but
It
yeah.
was a little
Yeah.
later.
Something I really did enjoy, and you might find me on this one, Mr. Parkle, but the Pokemon GameCube games,
Ooh,
the 3D ones, just because
Coliseum and XD.
like that was in my mind how I expected them to look, and like it was able to bring it to life
Sure.
at the time.
I actually had Pokemon Stadium and Stadium too, and I love those games too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was fun to play an actual like game rather than just whatever Stadium and Stadium 2 were.
Fair enough.
I want to just bring up one more category of games that I really liked, and you guys can feel free to tag in if you have more honorable mentions. But I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, and there are a ton
Oh, man.
of really good Dragon Ball video games.
And some that'll not.
I'm talking about Budokai 2 and 3, and played those games so much. Budokai Tenkaichi, so much fun. The third one I played a whole bunch on the Wii, and I would like, do the hand motions with the motion controls. There was Raging Blast, and so many. I'm going to skip the fighting games though, and mention probably my favorite Dragon Ball game, The Legacy of Goku 2. Was so much fun. It was like a little adventure game with RPG elements where you'd play as the major characters during the Cell Saga. It was so much fun. Do you guys have other honorable mentions that you want to bring up?
I think we've covered most of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many other fantastic games out
Yeah.
there, but
Yep.
well, let's kick it off with our final picks for the top 5. Let's recap what we had so far. I had Smash Bros, The Wind Waker, Sonic Adventure, and Pokemon Silver. What did you have, Chef Bruce?
So I had Donkey Kong 64, Smash Brothers Melee.
Uh-oh, can't remember.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Well, we just got done talking about all the honorable mentions.
You think about it. We'll have our doctor over here, Dr. Blake.
I don't think I had World of Warcraft, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Super Mario Bros. 3, Battle for Middle-earth 2.
The Rise of the Witch King.
The Rise of Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth 2, Rise of the Witch King.
Jeez, yeah.
All right,
So
we'll try to help you out. So see what you remember.
let's see. We had the Donkey Kong 64,
Right.
Melee,
You had Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. Yes, definitely 2. Assassin's Creed 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Just one more we need to remember. Well, I guess you only have 3.
yeah, sure.
Guess they really weren't that memorable.
Apparently, not that
All right.
influential.
Oh, Halo, right?
Ah, it was Halo.
Halo 3,
yeah.
The one that you guys even really like. Gosh.
So for my final pick as to impactful games of my childhood, no surprise based on my name for some, I'm going to have to pick Spider-Man 2. The video game tie-in to the movie is considered by many to be one of, if not the best movie tie-in video games. One of the best Spider-Man games, perhaps only bested by the Spider-Man PS4 game. It was so much fun. And I wasn't even that big of a Spider-Man fan when this came out. You know, I liked Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. It's one of my favorite movies, but the video game is what got me so invested in the lore of Spider-Man. And I had played other Spider-Man games before, but there was something different about fighting Mysterio in the movie theater, or whatever. You know, it was so much fun. So I got to meet all these different characters and learn how to web swing. That's mine. What do you got?
So I had a hard time picking the last one because I kind of made it my favorite. But I kind of went with Dark Souls 1. The reason being is if there's any game that has my time tied into it that could even possibly beat the Smash Brothers franchise, it is the Dark Souls. I just remember when it came out that, this was like, oh, crazy hard, and people were super excited about it. I keep trying to talk these guys into playing it, but they don't want to. I think they're a little scared.
I have all right way to put this. I have a policy that even if I know that I will really like a video game, I will not dip my foot in unless I can dive all the way in. I just don't have the time to dive all the way in now. Well, what do you got?
I would say my last pick. You mentioned earlier. You insulted earlier, actually.
I insulted it. Uh-oh.
That'd be StarCraft.
StarCraft.
I played this a lot when I was a kid. At family friend's house, we would play in the garage, have huge games going. And it's another game I'd play with my dad and my brothers sometimes. It was just a really good RTS.
I don't think I insulted StarCraft. I think
You mentioned StarCraft.
Hmm.
You said it wasn't. You said Biffy was the best RTS. And
Well, that's not insulting StarCraft.
oh, you mentioned StarCraft by name.
I mean, that's because I
And-
kind of did.
Yeah.
And technically, I butchered it because I said Stargate. And
Yeah, I correct.
True.
Yeah.
True. So that's the true insult, people.
Stargate SG-1, right?
Yeah.
Well, there we have it. There are our top 5 video games
talk,
that affected our childhood. There's plenty of others that we haven't mentioned. Nobody brought up other classic video game mascots like Spyro or Crash or whatever. Even right now, I'm thinking that I forgot to mention Soul Calibur 2. But
Yeah, there's plenty like Ultimate Alliance.
Ultimate Alliance, ooh, I love that game. Well, anyways, we're gonna call it there. Thank you so much if you decided to tune in. Thank you for listening to this entire thing, and if you feel like it, feel free to leave a comment below about the top 5 video games that's affected your childhood and maybe what you like best out of our list. This is the Fellowship of Smash signing off. You guys have a good night or day or whatever you're doing. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.